Today, we're going to be looking at the Warrior X3. Now this light is an upgrade to the Warrior X Pro. Now when comparing it to the Warrior X Pro, there's a few notable upgrades. First off, there's an increase in max lumens. This one has 2500, whereas the Warrior X Pro only had 2100. There's a 60 meter increase in throw distance. There is the upgraded tail cap that allows for the newer lock-on pressure remote switch. And there's a new finger grip ring that it comes with. And there's an upgraded bezel device that allows for easier glass breaking in case of emergencies. What's also cool is when you look at the run times in relation to the lumen output, you'll notice that the max output is 2500 lumens, and at that max output it'll run for 2.5 minutes, whereas the old one, the old Warrior X Pro, had an output of only 2100 lumens, and it was only 2 minutes of runtime. So that's quite an upgrade in that sense. Now I got to tell you that I am a little bit disappointed in the fact that they were not able to carry over the 3 meter drop rating from the Warrior X Pro. So this drop rating has only an impact rating of 2 meters, whereas the Warrior X Pro was 3 meters. So I'm a little disappointed in the fact that it's not as well built in that way, but I don't think that's such a big issue unless you're going to be really abusing your light. All right, so let's go ahead and open her up. Very nice packaging, very similar to the Warrior X Pro. There's a little tab in here telling me to remove the battery protector, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this out. Okay, so we have a standard message. Thank you for being a part of our Olight family. Your support is why we do this. Enjoy. So much like the Warrior X Pro, this one comes with a holster as well as the charging cable. This one comes with an extra tactical grip ring, so this one's going to be a rubberized one that I actually prefer the rubberized one over the one that it comes with. Here's the light itself, and in there we have the manual. Alright, so we can get this box out of the way. So this holster is pretty identical to the one that the Warrior X Pro came with. It's got a snap on the back as well as the Velcro. It's got a D-ring here for a carabiner, and as you can see, the new grip ring kind of sticks out. It could be a little obtrusive that way, but I'm probably going to take it off. So, anyways, so there's a magnetic clasp, very similar to the old one. And so this one is obviously the it's not the standard black. This is the OD green. Okay, so as you can see from the bezel, there's a noticeable difference compared to the Warrior X Pro, which I do have right here. So if we want to compare the two, Warrior X3 right here, and then I've got the Warrior X Pro right here. So they're about the same size, pretty much. Yeah, they're pretty much about the same size. One thing to note is that the cooling fins are rounded off on the Warrior X3, whereas they're a little more squared off on the Warrior X Pro. But as far as the bezel goes, you can see that there are 3 zirconium beads on the front of the new Warrior X3 that are designed specifically for glass breaking. And the Warrior X Pro just has what these are like aluminum prongs. Yeah, I don't know how good these are for glass breaking, but and also, as I mentioned before, the tail cap is improved. So as you can see from the newer one, has this little extra flange right here, so that it's compatible with the newer pressure switches, and the old one is just kind of smooth, so that it can't lock on to any. It's not compatible with the newer pressure pads. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off the tail cap, and I'm going to remove the tab that it comes with. This little tab right here. Just going to take that out. I'll show you the battery. It's a 21700 battery, just like the Warrior X Pro, 500 milliamps. Got good spring action in the head of the light. Go ahead and show you down there. So that it offers some drop protection. Throw that back on. Throw the tail cap back on. Go. So this light only has 2 modes, as opposed to a lot of their other lights that has multiple. So this one only has like a low and a high. So the low is going to be 300 lumens, which is the exact same as the Warrior X Pro, but the high is going to be your 2500 lumen output. The battery is pretty much empty when they ship it because of DOT restrictions. So when you turn it on, you can actually hear it vibrate. So I'm going to turn it on. You're going to hear it vibrate. Hear that? And so that means that the battery is pretty much almost dead. So I got to throw this thing on the charger before I test it out. But anyway, there's a half press, which is 300 lumens, and then the full press is going to be your full 2500 lumen output. Now for momentary, just like the Warrior X Pro, you're going to hold it down for over a second, and then you're going to let go. And that's momentary. But if you want constant, you're just going to tap it and let go. See, so now it's constant. And the same thing with turbo. You're just going to do a full press instead of a half press. Now, as I was mentioning before, this little flange here makes it compatible with this brand new remote pressure switch. So in case you want to mount it to a rifle, you can do so. Now this, by the way, is an optional accessory. And the thing about this pressure switch is that there's a high and there's a low setting, so you can access both the high and the low from this pressure pad. So if you were to mount it on a rifle and you were going indoors, you can just use the low, and then if you head outdoors, you can transition to high really easily. And so this thing just kind of pops onto the light just like so, and then to lock it in place, you simply press forward. Now it's locked. Okay, so you can see this is the low mode, and then this is going to be the high. High, and then this is going to be the low. You'll see the levels better when we go outside. Okay, so for now, I think I'm going to remove this little finger grip ring and replace it with the tactical grip ring that it comes with. Just gonna remove this and put on this tactical grip ring. There we go. Put the battery back in. And there we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the charger, and then I'm going to take it outside to show you what it can do. Alright guys, I'm out here with the Warrior X3. Now to give you some context on how far away some of these landmarks are, this tree right here is going to be about 20 yards away. This tree right here in the center is going to be about 50 yards away to the top. The top of the tree is going to be about 50 yards away. And then the tree back there in the center is going to be about 130 yards out. So just to give you some context, some idea of what these distances are. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing on. It's going to start off on low, which is 300 lumens. So as you can see, even on low, this thing's got pretty good. It's got pretty good throw. It makes it all the way out to 50 yards nicely. Can do 20 yards, and you could see it a little bit at 130 yards. I can see it with my naked eye. I'm not sure how bright it's going to come out on the video, but I can see it a little bit with my naked eye. All right, so I'm just going to shine this thing around here. So once again, this is on low. This is 300 lumens. So at this level, it can run for 8 hours. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bump this thing up to high or turbo. So this is turbo. 2,500 lumens this is. So yep, at 20 yards, no problem. It washes everything out. 50 yards, pretty much the same thing. And 130 yards, absolutely no problem at all. So I'm just gonna shine this thing around here a little bit so you can see it. So I can feel it warming up right now, so it's only gonna last at this level for like 2.5 minutes, and then it'll drop down. And one other thing to notice is that right after you turn off the light, there is a glow-in-the-dark rim that's around the edge of the flashlight. The Warrior X Turbo and the Warrior X Pro also had this as well, so it's kind of a neat thing that they carried over from the later ones. I moved on over here to get a little more distance. Now for some context, the first set of electrical towers is about 170 yards, and the set behind it is about 330 yards. So this is the Warrior X3 on low. You can't really make out. I guess you could make out a little bit at 170 yards, but not much. I'm gonna go ahead and crank this thing up to high or turbo. So yes, at turbo you can definitely see 170 yards out. At 170 is absolutely no problem. It's lighting those things up like a Christmas tree. But okay, yeah, this is the Warrior X3. like this kind of content, give me a follow, give me a share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.